In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, it's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin, and they are all that stand between you and the films that could end the world. Welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. Just want to thank all of our fans and listeners. Really appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. Before we get into tonight's film review, just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network. So there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. We hope you enjoy the episode. All right, guys, coming to the film review. This week we're taking on my pick. I chose, hell if I know what year this is. If you look on IMDb, Letterboxd, it's got all kind of different releases. I think 2024 is when it made a theatrical release in Mexico. So we'll roll with that. 2024 is The Coffee Table. This is a movie, it's one of those movies where I just heard some buzz about it, on TikTok, I think. Saw it on Shudder. I was like, why not? I got nothing else going on. Turned it on. Went into the movie with kind of no expectations, thinking maybe this is kind of like Oculus. Maybe we got a haunted coffee table or something. My friends, that is not what happens. If you've not seen it, spoiler alert on that. But needless to say, when I told Dustin about this movie, I was like, I'm not going to really spoil anything, but I've never seen a movie like this. It's I think I said it I said this either in one of our instant reactions or last week on Leprechaun. It's like, it's stressful as hell and anxiety ridden, but it's not like an Uncut Gems. It's just like poor Jesus. If your name is Jesus throughout history, you just can't catch a break, it seems like. But do I enjoy watching this movie? Not really, but just the way it makes you feel is very effective, and it's very low budget, and I really appreciate the filmmaking and just I appreciate everything about this movie. It's a really good movie that's not good to watch and pleasurable to watch whatsoever. Mike, what did you think?
Yeah, man, this whole movie, and it's because of the way it's shot, is like the first 15 minutes of me on pre-workout every morning. That's how I felt. I was like, and no, I did not take a shit during this movie. But that would be the only difference between my pre-workout in the morning and this movie. Look, man, I'd never heard of this movie. So when I saw it on the schedule, I was like, what the fuck? I was almost hoping, Nico, because I don't expect this from you, that you did pick a haunted coffee table movie or some shit like Velocipaster. I was like, Nico's gone. Whoa, what is this? He's normally picking some artsy shit. It's kind of artsy, I guess. But look, man, it's hard to say this movie's good. It's kind of what you said, Nico, which is it's a good film as far as how it was made, how it's shot. Honestly, I think the acting is way better than I expected it to be. There's some good stuff in there too. It is not enjoyable in any way. Sometimes I like Jesus. Sometimes I hate Jesus. Honestly, he comes in the first 15 minutes or so, it comes across as stupid. So he was annoying to me. But again, as the movie progresses, it just gets more angsty, more. I feel like I'm on edge the majority of the movie. And last thing I really have is how up close you are to everyone at all times. The camera is right in these people's faces the whole fucking runtime, and you feel like it. It's like, God damn, why are we so close? I kept having to kind of go like this, like I'm about to hit a new set of bench or something. Good Lord, get out of my face. And I think that helps the effectiveness of the film. It was really hard to pick a rating for this movie because it is one of those, yeah, I like the movie because of it's a good movie, but I don't sure as hell don't enjoy watching it, and I rate a lot of my stuff off if I enjoy it or not. So it was hard to come down on a rating for it. By the way, not a budget fact, but kinda. This movie was made in only 10 days. 10 days.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this one. And man, what a ride. It's just so dark and twisted with no hope in sight. The best word to describe it, it's just bleak. The entire movie is just bleak. Just a complete accident that spirals out of control as a man folds under pressure and is overtaken by his shock. I can't say that I recommend it. I can't say that I liked it, but it is an effective movie that's well done for the most part. So I don't regret watching it.
It's kind of one of the reasons I picked it. You know, I think we all have like lists or whatever of like movies we want to review in the future. And, you know, I was looking through mine and I was like, man, what do I want to pick? What do I want to pick? You know, like I've been wanting to do like Strange Darling for a long time or Drop or, you know, something like that, you know, something a lot more mainstream. But I saw this one. I was like, man, this movie made me feel some type of way. And I'm going to make them two watch it just to see how they like it. And I'm glad you two seem to, I think, feel how I feel about it. I think it's well made. It's effective for what it is. It's not fun or pleasurable to watch once you know what you're getting yourself into, but it's just really well done and like it accomplished what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. 100%.
All right. Well, I'm doing the scene by scene. Thank God. Yay.
This
Excited.
is a hard movie to take notes on, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm glad I
it
did
was.
the
Like
scene by scene.
breakdown, wise, it's like, what do you like? It's like throughout my notes, it's like, God, I don't know what I would do if I was Jesus. God, I don't know how I
By
feel
the
if I
way,
was Jesus. You know?
Same. Same. And by the way, I'm going to go back and start tallying how many foreign language films Nico's picked. I'm tired of this motherfucking making me do subtitles. Sick of this shit.
Let me change my pick for next week. Then I'll pick another foreign language film.
There you go.
What
That's
do
fine, brother.
Titane?
I'll be here. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be here. I think.
I actually wouldn't mind watching that. Ain't that the Neon movie where they're like
Yeah,
the car or whatever?
yeah, it's crazy. That's
Hey,
wild.
Hey, do it. I'm here for it.
It's on my list. All right. Well, y'all got any
Hey,
other
man, you
open
already
thoughts
released
for,
graphics. Fuck that. You already released what we were reviewing. Fuck you.
card subject to change.
God damn
Go
it.
ahead,
Any
brother.
other? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started then. We open with the soothing sounds of childbirth as Maria gives birth in a dark room. Off to a hot start. We cut to Maria and her fiance Jesus buying a coffee table. I don't know about y'all, but if I go to buy a coffee table, I don't need a salesman telling me how a particular one will change my life. I already know I need one. I'll just find one I like. So it's unbreakable. Great. I like how Maria calls him on his bullshit. If it's so great, why don't you have one? But Jesus wants this one. He starts unloading everything that he's been holding in, like how she calls all the shots. He didn't want to have kids yet, and he hates the baby's name. Brother needs some therapy. It's funny that I put that because I didn't know at the time. He's really going to need some therapy if he makes it through this. The salesman continues his pitch and says if they treat this table well, it will bring them happiness. And he almost never lies to his customers. Maria storms off, and Jesus says he'll take the table, even though the salesman admits he didn't really like it. We get some pretty cool opening credits that are written in on an owner's manual, and some blood drops ominously on the manual for the title card. After the credits, Jesus is bringing in the table up the winding staircase. Pivot! That's a quote from the overrated TV program Friends. Before they get inside, they experience my worst nightmare, a neighbor making small talk. But it gets even worse. We find out the neighbor's teenage daughter, is in love with Jesus, and she has fabricated this whole fantasy in her head that she believes to be true, and she is delusional. Yikes. Once he finally gets rid of her, Jesus puts together the coffee table, and he chooses violence. He denigrates his son's name just for the love of the game, and then realizes he's missing a screw for the table, so the glass wobbles. He decides to call the salesman, and that's the open.
My first thought is we're really opening this fucking movie because I didn't do any research. Because when I do first time watch, if I do too much, I develop an expectation, and I didn't want to do that. So I was like, golly, we're opening with really graphic up close look at childbirth, and like, no, we don't see it, but we see Maria, and she's in agony, and that's the first thing you really see when you open this film. So I was like, oh hell, what are we in for? Then we get a sleazy ass salesman, which, by the way, sleazy salesman crosses all language barriers. This motherfucker, he sold Jesus this, what I think is ugliest dog shit coffee table, by the way. I mean, this man says he's been in the business 30 years. What a line that you should never fall for, by the way. You should anyone that's like, well, I'm an expert, and they're trying to sell you something, don't fucking listen to him. Trust me. As a salesman. Anyway, Jesus kind of comes off as an idiot here, though, man. Like, so far, I'm thinking this man lacks solid judgment in the choices he makes. I did like the line from the salesman of a marriage can be broken. That seems ominous and not subtle. So I'm sure that will come back into play later. And by the way, the table is a stupid design. Elbows aren't even that strong. That shit can't hold up a big piece of glass. So whoever made this fucking table, man, it's an ugly table. I'm sorry. What I did find funny for Jesus is he played himself. He could have just got a different table, but he wanted to stand his ground. Then he had to take the whole fucking table up those flights of stairs by himself. Hey, man, I have a hard time feeling sympathy for him. This man has made so many bad choices. He's got me siding with a woman. So shout out to that, I guess. Look, I'm with you here, Dustin. Neighbor making small talk, especially we're in like a crowded stairwell. No, man, don't do that. You see me trying to get up this thing. Don't do that. And this teen neighbor angle is rough because given the choice, early on in the movie, obviously she's batshit crazy, but like early on, you're like, well, I don't know. This man just picked out an ugly ass table. Maybe he is a scuzz. I don't know. But I mean, just not a good time. I won't comment on the baby's name because I don't know if that's an actual funny name, although we do find out in a couple sets of scenes that a woman at the grocery store thinks it is. So, okay. My last thing here, I just wouldn't call a salesman that sold me the table to try to get an extra screw. Probably just hop in the car, go down to the hardware store, and get another screw. That's probably what I would do. Real easy.
Yeah, same, man. I did that recently, putting some chairs together. I just went to the hardware store.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, though, I don't know if y'all are like me. I'm the kind of person that if I'm at a gas pump and it says card error or machine not working, please go inside, I just drive to a different pump. So I guess it just depends on your mood.
I just wouldn't want to deal with that salesman again, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I guess he did like him more than the wife did, so I get it. But like, I started my notes off just by kind of reiterating. The first time I watched this movie, I just had no idea what I was getting myself into. What can you expect from a film called The Coffee Table? Needless to say, I haven't forgotten this flick since watching it. Like, it stuck with me forever. I must not have been to any furniture stores like this because I've never seen a salesman this passionate about selling a damn table. Immediately, you can tell there's a strain between Jesus and Maria's marriage. There's arguing, tension, hostility. And I'm with you, Mike. I'm Team Maria right now, putting the pressure on the salesman. So if this table is so great, why don't you have one? So you admit that it's expensive. Like, put that pressure on them. Like, a lot of salesmen are slimy-ass people. Jesus continues to show his frustrations with his relationship. Doesn't get to make any decisions in the home, not even his son's name, which he very much dislikes. And the salesman, he tells on himself, I almost never lie to customers. Bro, you said the quiet part out loud. You don't say that, man. That's not how business is done. That's what I've heard that before. I don't know where, but I've heard that it's not how business is done. Nice little jab at the couple. Marriages can be broken, but this glass can't. I'm like, bro, like you kind of try and win the woman over in like this kind of stuff. But all right, whatever, man. Jesus says he's buying a table strictly out of pride at this point. I'm going to go to the Bible here. Proverbs 16:18 says pride goes before destruction. I'm just saying, take care.
No. Not in this instance. You never let a woman win this kind of argument.
A woman. I don't know why. If you'd have just left it, never let a woman win, that would have been funny. I laughed when the salesman admitted he didn't like the table. Jesus, leave that piece of junk at the store, man, and just go home. Ruth has quite the attitude for a teenage girl, 13, talking about she's in love. Girl, stop. Things get very weird with Ruth as Ruth reveals that she loves the love she feels for Jesus, accusing him of loving her and asking why he hasn't told his wife. You're like, what the hell is this girl on? Even if these texts between the two are just poems, hate to say it, or actually I don't hate to say it, a grown man, you shouldn't be texting a 13-year-old girl or following him on Instagram regardless. Like, what are you doing?
This is for school.
Bro.
He did nothing wrong.
Hey, man, how come? Hey, man, you were critical of Drake talking to Millie Bobby Brown. What's up with that?
He was trying to grease cheeks. Jesus ain't.
Anyway.
All right. I don't know what just happened. Ruth is outrageous. Leave your wife and baby and we can run away together. I need Dustin's thoughts on this whole exchange. Actually, I don't. Take that. Delete that. Hey, Jamie, delete that. Maria continues to have hate for the salesman, which I can appreciate. And last thing I got, Dustin, upon a first watch, I'm really wondering what I'm getting myself into, but I'm really invested with just how awkward this whole situation is.
I'll give you my thoughts on it anyway. He should have went straight to Maria and told her this neighbor girl is crazy, and he should have went to her mom. Because by not telling them being up front, it made it look like he was being a PDF file. And that's not what you want to look like. You look like anything but that. Anyway.
I do agree with that. He should have just went to Bruce's mom and said, she's on some nut shit right now.
Because if he was being truthful, then he has nothing to hide. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. He truly was sending her poems for her school project. He liked one picture on Instagram, and it was of the dog. Like, he has nothing to hide unless he does. So he's only making himself look worse. And it does blow up in his face. So there's that. Anyway, Jesus calls the salesman and tells him he needs another screw. Salesman is a sucker. I've got your money. You want an extra screw? Come get it. I don't owe you anything. While they wait, they decide to fight again. These people are exhausting. Jesus' vegan brother is coming to visit, and Maria calls him a pedo due to his recently turned 18-year-old girlfriend. This family has issues. Maria heads to buy some groceries, and Jesus said, to hell with solidarity. I know you can't drink because of the baby, but I'm going to have some wine. But then again, I'd be an alcoholic if I was stuck with Maria too. Once she's gone, Jesus bonds with his son, a.k.a. walks around holding him and listening to him crying nonstop, until the crying stops when we hear the sound of glass shattering. But it's not Stone Cold Steve Austin making an entrance. This idiot has dropped his son to his death through the new coffee table. So much for Unbreakable. Meanwhile, Maria is at the store getting all giddy when a man asks for a wine recommendation, and she catches up with an old friend and they talk about their love lives, and Maria lies and says she and Jesus are so happy. Back at home, Jesus is in shock over what he's done. There is so much blood. Oh, did I mention that the baby was decapitated? Because it was. We got no food. We got no jobs. Our kids' heads are falling off. If I had a nickel for every movie we've reviewed where a kid is decapitated, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not much money, but it's weird that it's happened twice. Anyway.
Bro, what the fuck?
Anyway, Maria and her friend continue chatting about motherhood while Jesus continues to sit in shock of the aftermath of what he's done. Maria calls him and puts her friend on the phone, but he's speechless. He finally picks up his son's lifeless body and changes the poopy diaper. It's probably why the kid was crying in the first place. Go ahead.
Man, I'm still up to this point, and it does change a little bit, okay? I feel for Jesus. But up till this point, kind of like Nico said, I'm still Team Maria, man. And I know you say, I know you said in your scene by scene that being married to her would be terrible. Yeah, we kind of find out that she's insufferable in a lot of ways, and I comment on that later. But, man, this guy's a dumbass. I mean, he got ripped off. Now he's too stubborn to admit it. Geez. And, again, given his choice of coffee table and his Instagram liking and sending poems to a 13-year-old, just wouldn't do it, to be honest. I don't trust him to watch the baby either. What could possibly go wrong with leaving him at home alone with the baby while I go to the store? What could happen? Oh, I don't fucking know. And, you know, what's funny, yeah, you mentioned the poopy diaper. Babies sometimes also know when somebody doesn't like their ass. They're almost like a dog in that sense. I shouldn't compare the two. I'm sure I'll get some hate over that. But they can tell, or, babies kind of develop that sense of closeness early on with whichever parent they view more highly of. Highlier is not a fucking real word, you idiot. But anyway, the baby's going to cry because it's Jesus, I think. And along with the fact that you're right, his diaper's probably full of shit. Man, I'm not... Look, dude, maybe the baby's crying because that's an ugly ass at the table. What I was not expecting was, holy shit, this baby had no fucking head. What in the fuck? Bro, in my notes, this is a direct quote. What the fuck have you done, Nico? That is not what I wanted to see out of a movie, man. I was not prepared. I was like, holy fuck. So And then immediately after an intense scene, well shot, well made, they cut to mom at the store. Nah, I don't give a fuck about what Maria's doing at the store right now. Get back to what the hell is going on. And then it's just very nonchalant. But I kind of mentioned it last set of scenes, but the women at the store let me know that apparently the name for the baby is a little odd. So maybe Jesus was right the whole time. So maybe Dustin has a point. Maybe Maria should have picked a better name, and maybe she is a little more insufferable than I would have originally thought. Last few things here. Some of these shots of Jesus with the blood dripping, easy for me to say, pal. The blood dripping were great. I mean, I love how up close and uneasy the whole thing is shot. It makes you feel like you're right there experiencing it, and that's nerve-wracking. However, last thing, there's a 4-minute stretch here where it's just music and bloody hands. I mean, pretty much. Like, it's like a 4-minute run here, and I'm like, no words, no nothing, no action, just music and bloody hands. Okay, still good. Not necessarily a criticism, just an observation.
All right, so dark humor joke, but yeah, y'all have read some Bible stuff, right? This isn't the first time in history a guy named Jesus messed up a table. You know what I'm saying? But we'll just keep moving on.
Hey, yo.
Come on, man.
Lord, I apologize. Please be with starving pygmies down there in New Guinea. Amen.
I mean, if they hadn't treated the church
yeah,
like
bro.
a dang flea market, then he wouldn't have had to flip the table.
I know. But I thought it, so I said it. I'm proud of Jesus for standing on business, demanding the screw be brought to him, but I've done my fair share of assembling some bull jive. One screw shouldn't shut down the assembly operation. Like, what are we doing around here? I was texting Dustin, and I was like, this movie shouldn't be called, or the coffee, or like the table shouldn't be called, or the glass shouldn't be called unbreakable. It should be the screw is unbreakable. It's like, what, this thing holds it all together? Jesus' brother is called a pedo and then a vegan. Like, what a terrible person. Like, what a horrible person he is. A crying baby is one of the most frustrating things in life. Like, I love my niece to death, but I do remember trying to calm her down as a baby, and boy, howdy, it'll test your patience. I tell you what. Jesus is asking the baby if he loves the table. Then we get the stone cold noise. What happened? Trip? Drop? You can feel the visceral change in tone after this happens. Seeing a decapitated baby was never on my agenda in our film reviews. I couldn't even imagine what to feel if I was Jesus. I chuckled at this guy at the store asking Maria for a wine recommendation, then taking the bottle from her hand and just walking off with it. I laughed again as the daughter asked, is Dad the bastard? Going into this movie, I kind of expected the coffee table to be haunted or something like Oculus. I wasn't expecting what I'm seeing, a father bloody on his knees over a broken table after accidentally killing their child. Goodness. This film doesn't make men look good so far, I tell you what. Buys a table his wife hates, first time alone with a baby, and this happens. 13-year-old neighbor accusing him of loving her and messaging her. Yikes. I awkwardly laughed again as Maria invited her friend over for a coffee, completely unaware of what just happened at home to said coffee table. Serious question. What do you do in this situation if you're Jesus? Like, do you call the police, tell Maria, jump off the balcony, just get it over with now?
Yeah, I go ahead and swanton dive off that balcony before Maria gets back.
Do you do the Jeff Hardy thing first, then do it, or do you just do it?
I probably throw the rug out first, scoop the baby and the head up, and dive at once. That way, it doesn't look like I killed the baby first. That way, she won't know. She'll just think, God, he really hated his life.
But I mean, like, as you're getting to the balcony, like you doing like the hop
juke?
skipping and
You might have to. You might have
get
to.
psyched up.
I don't know the way you talked. I don't know the way you talked about killing the baby. You may do one of these little throat slashes right before you do the diving headbutt. Oh, sorry.
Speaking of wrestling, though, I mean,
That's
Jesus
That's
makes
a
Chris
Chris
Benoit
Benoit
look like Father of the Year.
Hey, speaking of wrestling, I have a gavel moment later. I'm sure I'll get gavelled for it, but there's a moment later in the movie where this man looks like Drew McIntyre. You can't convince me otherwise. He does. It looks like Hispanic Drew McIntyre.
I got one thing. Larry, I got one more last thing to say before I'll let you take back over Dustin. But this movie's kind of called like a black comedy, like dark comedy and all that. Like, I just thought changing a dirty diaper on my son, I just decapitated. It's one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. But it's like, bro, the baby's dead. Like, changing. What are you doing? That's when you first changed the diaper after you killed the baby.
He had to do it, though, because if he's going to try to cover this up,
They
Mom
smell it.
comes in and
You're right.
smells that, yeah. But I got to comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
Something I thought about that I didn't think about at first is, Eric Cartman always said when you die, you crap your pants. So I wondered, was the baby's diaper dirty before?
I don't know.
And then also, sorry, were you done? I didn't.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. The scene where we hear the glass shatter, I think was so effective because we're not in the room with them. We don't see what happened. We just see the doorway to that room. I thought that was a fantastic shot. And
nobody wants to see that happen,
No, but I think it also made it more effective though than if we had seen it, because for that second or two where we don't know, we're sitting there like, what just happened? We don't hear crying. Oh God. So I think that was good. And then Mike, you mentioned how we go from that and we cut to Maria in the grocery store, like having a grand old time. I think that is, like you said, this, Nico, this is listed as a black comedy.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Like the rest of the movie, her and the brother and the 18-year-old girlfriend, they're just going about life like all is good, and they're making jokes and stuff. And so I think it was funny. It's
her inviting the friend over to have coffee.
Yeah, it's so twisted. Yeah. And the friend commenting on what kind of dad Jesus is going to be and all this is like, it's a very twisted brand of humor, but it is humor. But
yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Jesus gets another call and he tells Maria the last call dropped and hung up on her when she was asking about wine, and she called back, but he didn't talk, so he hangs up this time. Jesus starts to clean up and it becomes a cover-up. He puts the baby's body in the crib and frantically scours the place for cleaning supplies. When he can't find any, he goes to his neighbor's door to ask for some, still covered in blood. The neighbor's daughter answers the door and pressures him again to tell Maria about them. Delusional. He gets the cleaning supplies, and as he gets back home, the salesman arrives with the screw and tells him the glass is breakable if not assembled correctly. Unreal timing, bro. Then the salesman just won't leave. Take a hint, man. Get out of here. Finally alone, Jesus cleans up his mess. Good luck getting blot out of that carpet scrubbing it like that. Has he not seen American Gangster? That's $25,000 alpaca. You blot that shit. He reaches for his son's head under the couch or under the chair, but can't bring himself to touch it. And he gets a text from Maria. I'll be back in 30 minutes, idiot. Jesus goes to the bathroom and washes the blood off himself. He takes a long time in the shower. Considering there's still blood on the carpet and he's running out of time before Maria gets back, put some pep in your step. He decides to leave the stain, I guess, and now Maria is back.
Yeah, so this is definitely where I kind of flip sides here from Jesus or from Maria to Jesus, because I wasn't on his side originally, but the way that she handled the phone call dropping, so rude and disrespectful. God damn, man. Shit happens. It's an accident. All right. Man, that annoyed the piss out of me. And anybody that does that, piss off. Look, the movie is doing a great job of showing the agony of Jesus' situation. Like you said, Nico, and it's not the first time it's going to happen. Right here, my notes will say, what the fuck would I do in this situation? Who the fuck knows? I have no idea. Don't want to know. Can't imagine. Your life's kind of over in a way, no matter what you do. So kind of in a lose-lose situation, in my opinion. That you have like a Joe Goldberg, Love Quinn situation. That might be the only way you get out of that, I guess. Got a little lucky there. But anyway, look, golly, I wrote right here, this teen girl is crazy. She's somehow going to make things so much worse. I just don't know how yet. Well, buddy, buckle up, man, for a ride later. I kind of felt bad for all the shit talking of the salesman. He may have been a little decent guy after all. He went all the way out of his way to bring that screw up to him. That's something, man. That's service with a smile if I ever had to see it. And
I don't know, man. I think he was trying to service Jesus, inviting him out for drinks, hang out sometime. I don't know. It was a little creepy.
Oh, I mean, it was. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. It was pretty gay. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it was. Anyway, I appreciate Jesus' interest in cleaning all this up, but man, I hate when a movie does. All you're doing is smearing it and spreading it. It just makes things so much worse. It's like Vince McMahon said to Bruce Pritchard, you just smeared shit all over the business. Yeah, you just smeared blood all over the carpet. Last thing, and this is what I hope we just move on and don't get paused, but when Jesus is in the shower here, he kind of does look like Drew McIntyre when he's wet after a wrestling match. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Let's just take a moment. Okay, go ahead.
Come on, man.
Hey, you did put the disclaimer out there, as Mason
I did.
So you put.
Come on.
Jesus is getting an earful after hanging up on Maria. Are you stupid? She asked, and I laughed so hard. I'm not gonna lie. God damn, poor Jesus. I love the chaotic camera work as Jesus looks for cleaning supplies and running upstairs to the neighbor's house. As if his day isn't bad enough, this 13-year-old annoying kid is threatening to tell his wife about their made-up relationship. Damn it, man. Ruth's mom gave Jesus a weird eye, if you ask me, saying her room was pink and asking his favorite color. I was like, damn, is this whole household after Jesus? Good night. Jesus is only trying to clean up, but now the salesman wants to give his damn life story. I know bro was feeling like Harry and Dumb and Dumber when his foot was on fire trying to get that girl's number. He's like, I love that movie. That was a weirdo salesman uses Jesus' back to fill out the giveaway instead of an actual wall or the door. Make it make sense. It's like, why you got to touch Jesus? Like, give me a break. His email being, Dear Baby Jesus. Dude, that was funny as hell to me.
That's a good email address.
Do you know how funny that was to me? Now the damn salesman is trauma dumping about not having friends while Jesus is falling apart on the inside. As Jesus starts cleaning, I have no idea how this man will be able to clean this place up fast enough. His wife went shopping for one meal. She's not going to Costco, Starbucks, and Home Goods like the ladies like to do. Like, this should be a quick trip to me. What is taking so long for her?
Well, we don't know how far away they live.
But still,
and you know how women are
at this house.
You know how women are. She probably got lost 4 times.
I know it would be incredibly difficult to do, but I don't see how Jesus just leaves the baby's head under the chair either. And I laughed again at Maria's text, I'll be home in 30 minutes, idiot, with the angry steam face emoji. This movie is low-key funny as hell. I honestly can't blame Jesus for not wanting to open the door for Maria. I know she's got to be suspicious as hell with everything that's going on. Man, it's just another tense set of scenes with a lot of dark humor involved in it. Like I'm loving it. Like, this is my kind of stuff.
For sure. Jesus heads to the balcony. I guess heads was the wrong term to use. Jesus ventures to the balcony for some air, ignoring Maria's rings of the doorbell until he finally lets her in. He tells her he was putting the baby to sleep. That's a lie that will be impossible to come back from, brother. He tells her that the new table broke, and she gloats about it. He explains the bloodstain by saying the glass cut his finger. She gets started on lunch as Jesus' brother is still set to join them. Maria laughs like a lunatic about the glass breaking, which makes it even darker since she doesn't know the truth. Also, she needs to lay off the Pall Malls. That smoker's laugh is wicked. She says that she's going to check on the baby, and the tension is thicker than cold oatmeal. Jesus stops her from getting too close and says the baby is sleeping. He says he loves her and acknowledges they've grown apart lately. This is the first scene that we see that they actually like each other. They may actually care about each other. He asks her to forgive him if he ever messes up, and they share a kiss. Jesus grabs a baby monitor to keep up his charade, and they continue making lunch, except she hears a dripping on the monitor. That would be your son's blood pooling under the crib, lady. Jesus hits the bottle pretty heavily and sees a baby doll head on the shelf that freaks him out. And now they have company. They give him pointers on getting bloodstains and crap on his ugly table. Rough day for this guy. He keeps them from, quote, waking the baby, but his brother's girlfriend insists on seeing the baby's room, which is full of Jesus' childhood toys, including a Raphael action figure. Nice. They talk about how happy they are and how the boy will be growing up, and I know Jesus' heart almost fell through his ass. And we get a weird flashback scene to some kids playing at the playground to end this set. It's very strange to me.
Yeah, so look, I left off talking about Jesus' shower, but I could have been the only one that noticed. This man took a shower and then looked absolutely no different, went right back to sweating. That's the fucking worst. When you get all nice and cleaned up and then you got to go back to sweating buckets, tough time out here. Look, I know that Jesus is sympathetic here. Damn, that's a cold-ass lie, how he lied right to this woman's face about what happened. I don't know how long I could do that for. given the circumstances and situation. But I turned right around in the next set and said, well, maybe not, because this woman just lives to berate this man. She has done nothing but laugh her fucking ass off, which, by the way, laughs like Marge Simpson's twin sisters or whatever. It's a fucking awful laugh, and we have to hear it for way too long. It's uncomfortable, and like I said, she sounds like the Simpson, or I don't know, Marge Simpson's original
Patty
maiden
and
name,
Selma.
but those two.
Bouvier.
Yeah, Patty and Selma. Sorry.
Selma
See,
Bouvier.
there you go. See, I didn't know the last name. Okay. All right. But, I mean, that's how she sounded when she laughed, and that was fucking annoying, and we had to hear it. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know how long. That would have pissed me off to the point where I may have just told her right there that her fucking precious baby is dead. Now what are you going to do? That's what I probably would have done, because I'm reactionary in that way. I'm sorry, that's terrible. I shouldn't have said that. Just a shit laugh is all I'm saying. One shot here in this set I did like is when she goes to walk to check on the baby. They do a quick shot of him holding the knife. I was like, ooh, that's a nice shot, because clearly that's not how this is going to end up. That would have been way too cut and dry. But I like that the tease happened there for sure. You know, the brother walking in, you look ill, buddy. wait until you find out why I look ill, brother. Got to tip my cap though. I do think here the four people that are pretty much left in the movie are pretty good at giving their performances. Like, I think the acting really makes me buy in to, especially the next set of scenes. And if I were Jesus, I'd be turning that motherfucking bottle upside down. I mean, because this movie is a dark comedy, I wish they had gone that route. Just, well, might as well get drunk as fuck, because this shit's about to hit the fan. And I love how they are using this baby monitor as a storytelling device. I don't know if it was intentional to be funny, but the one cut over, and I don't think it was in this set of scenes, but they cut over one time where it looks like Lois Griffin staring at the whatever. That's how he looked at the baby monitor, and I was like, that's fucking funny. I can't deny that. He's worried as shit, which is hilarious because nothing's coming out of this baby monitor. Baby dead. You never going to hear this baby cry again because you fucking dropped him on his head on a shard of glass. So I don't know what we're all worried about the baby monitor for. But anyway, you know, really the last thing, outside of Jesus acting entirely too nervous for this set of circumstances, the shots around the nursery made me really uneasy. Like, just very, you know, Dustin, you kind of commented on it, very normal, oh my God, you have a baby dialogue going on around him, and he is just has his balls in his throat. Pause. Like, he is just fucking going through it, and everybody else around him is just like, la, 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 la. And you're right, darkly humorous. There's no other way to describe it.
You just reminded me of Sweet Home Alabama. You said, oh, you have a baby. I thought you were going to say, in a bar.
Oh, you have a baby in a bar. Great fucking movie.
Listen, I would never encourage suicide, but if I'm Jesus, jumping off the balcony doesn't sound like too bad of an idea right now. Like, I don't know what the hell to do right now. I have a terrible guilty conscience. I can't hide my feelings for shit. I can't, you know, it shows on my face. There's no way I'd be able to hide what's going on from Maria. Like, I would have cracked under the pressure. I laughed again at Maria smirking and laughing about the unbreakable glass and then calling it karma. The salesman, like I mentioned this earlier, but the salesman should have said this is an unbreakable screw, not unbreakable glass, because what? Maria is crying, laughing, thinking about this glass table breaking, not knowing all the repercussions. On my first watch, this was the most awkward shit I've ever seen in my life. Maria says buying that crap table was worth it just for this moment. If you only knew, sis, if you only knew. Jesus' reaction skills weren't fast enough. Maria was right at the crib. Like, this almost got bad real quick. Like, you got to run in there a lot faster, brother. Listen, I don't know how I'd handle myself if I were Jesus either, but man is taking the I love you, you know that route, and apologizing for shit he hasn't done. Like, you're making yourself look more and more guilty the more you talk, brother. Like, just stop yapping. No clue how Maria didn't notice the pool of blood forming in the crib, honestly. My God, what a nightmare situation this is. How did she not see that? Jesus is chugging the hell out of this wine, and why is there a baby head figure on the mantle? Why have that regardless, but what a horrible reminder that is now. Maria called Carlos a pedo and a creep, and now he and the new girlfriend are beautiful people. Unreal. What a switch up, Dustin, that she just did. Carlos calling his brother the world's worst dad was fitting. The girlfriend having a no bad days t-shirt is sending me to. Like, God, this movie is so funny. This isn't an easy film to take notes on, but the dialogue is so ironically funny. Uncle says, I bet the baby is dying to meet me. Come on, man.
You know, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I only got a few more points. Of course, the gift is a blanket with a matching hat. Jesus is told to not look dead and smile, then punch with a Hulk hand. Bro is having the worst day I've ever seen. Like, can you imagine like being in Jesus' shoes, then getting punched with one of those giant Hulk hand toys? Like, I'd have lost it. And the last thing I got, Jesus continues to hear talk of toys, how the baby's going to grow up with all these toys and have a great life. And you can just see him dying on the inside. Like, he has no clue what to do right now.
Yeah, it's rough. Allow me to script doctor a little, because you mentioned you're terrible at hiding your emotions, your guilt. And Mike, you mentioned you don't know how long you can keep up the charade and the lie. I think this movie works better if, like, Maria was the one that did it. Because let's say she's suffering from postpartum or something. She hasn't been alone with the baby, but Jesus is like, okay, I'll leave you alone with the baby. I'm going to go to the store. And then she breaks his precious coffee table and she has to hide it. The reason I say that works better is because women are natural liars. She would have been able to keep this up for days probably. But anyway, it's finally time to eat. And as the group talks, Jesus looks like he wanted to die and just drinks his wine instead. He starts hallucinating that his Spanish omelet is bleeding and says he feels faint. The guest asks what being a parent is like, and then Maria says she loves Jesus, but her son is just a different level of love. I wanted to die for Jesus here. Then we find out Jesus' brother is 13th on his girlfriend's list of people she loves. Women ain't shit. And Jesus says he loves Maria the most, which is evident because he hasn't killed her. They all toast to the baby. And Jesus starts to hallucinate the salesman's pitch through the baby monitor, and suddenly he's alone at the table. He snaps out of it, and his brother says he's a vegan for his girlfriend. He'd do anything for her, including killing Jesus and Maria. But not the baby, though. Well, turns out he's in luck. He won't have to do that. And to make Jesus feel just a little lower, his brother reveals that they're having a baby. Maria is happy for them, but Jesus doesn't know what to say. He finds the words, though. He says he doesn't give a shit that his 18-year-old girlfriend is pregnant and is just another one of his screw-ups. What a pipe bomb. He says buying that table was the biggest mistake he's ever made and heads to the toilet. And the next set of scenes is the ending.
You know, I actually enjoyed the fact that this was a, 14-minute coffee scene? Or not coffee, good Lord. Dinner table. Just 4 people sitting at a table. Thought it was fucking good. So this is actually my favorite set of scenes in the movie because it's all in one place. It is suspense-filled. It is funny. It is disturbing, devastating for our guy Jesus. Just like, good night. You mentioned it, Nico. This motherfucker's having a bad day. Could not get any worse. Actually, it could. Just like the rest of the film, the dinner table is shot in a way that's really uncomfortable, really up close. Like, you can't avoid feeling uneasy. You're almost like sitting around the table with these people. And I say this later in the movie or later in my notes, you're the only one, you and Jesus are the only 2 people that know how fucking horrible this day has been. So you're right there with them. The flashes in his head with the blood and the food are all done really well. They give that sense of guilt and shame, I guess, of what happened. And it makes this dinner talk feel so inconsequential, but you almost, a little bit through it, I let out a chuckle. I'm like, these motherfuckers, this is just so mundane, so much blah, blah, blah from these people. And I mean, Jesus said, let's go ahead and kiss because it's probably going to be the last time we ever do that shit. So he got he laid a good one on there. And he was right. It was the last time they were going to do that shit. I would be really suspicious if I were Maria of absolutely nothing coming out of that baby monitor. So this is the time I was talking about where Jesus just like looks over at it like the Lois Griffin meme. And nothing the whole time has come out of that monitor. No crying, no nothing. I mean, it is a baby. And I know babies sleep, but like every now and then they roll over and go, like, come on, something. I'd be very, very suspicious. Again, just a 10 to 12 minute scene of these people sitting at a table. And while that was long, I really liked this scene a lot. And I knew this fucking brother had a baby announcement. Again, let out a fucking laugh because it's like, oh my god, yay! Fucking Jesus is just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, bro. Like, just I couldn't help but laugh. And honestly, his little rant, I'm not gonna lie, this sounds like some shit Dustin would say, and I don't know why, but that's what I put in my notes. I was like, that sounds like a rant that Dustin would have went on after finding this shit out. But I will say, his brother impregnated an 18-year-old. I agree with Jesus. The fuck is wrong with you, bro? Come on, dog. No wonder he was 13th on our list.
I'm not going to comment on that.
All right.
I'd have been ahead of Costco pharmacies, all I'm saying.
Oh, good night. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Next week we're reviewing whatever Dustin picked.
That's the most bizarre thing, or that's the worst thing we've said tonight.
No, it's not.
All right,
it's not.
So we've seen a lot of outrageous things in this movie, but this threw me off so hard. Did Maria just admit she got a recipe from Wikipedia?
Yeah,
what the hell is going on? I love how hectic the editing and camera work is here. Zoom ins on the cutting of the food, the laughing, Jesus sweating and drinking wine. It really puts you in the stressed out panic feel like he's going through, and I loved it. Maria now says, I love Jesus, but my son is what I wanted in life. Let me tell you something, Maria. If I was Jesus, I'd just go jump off the balcony now. I wouldn't even say anything, just go. Carlos finds out his new girlfriend doesn't even like him like that. How am I ranked number 13 on things you care about in life? What the fuck? I'm actually enjoying seeing Maria perk up, show love to Jesus, feeling the embrace, but poor Jesus falling apart over here, which I can't blame him. Carlos has some pride, brother. I have no personality. I live for her. Good night. Go get that man's testosterone checked. Good night. And now the situation gets even more weird, finding out my brother and his new girlfriend are expecting. Meanwhile, my son's head is under the damn chair in the living room. Jesus goes heel and says he doesn't give a shit. His brother knocked up an 18-year-old and buying the table was the biggest mistake of his life. You think, brother? I can't wait to see how this movie ends. Go ahead.
You know, I'll just say this. If my wife embarrassed me in front of my brother and family like this, heads would roll, brother. Heads would roll. Sorry. I've been holding on to that joke the whole time.
Hey, let the bodies hit the floor.
I'm gonna defend the brother a little bit here. I don't think even he believed what he was saying, that he went vegan for her. He probably sneaks a burger on the side. Listen, we all say crazy stuff to get the cheeks. I think he's just playing a long game here. But
yeah, he was probably waiting outside her high school classes, waiting on her to finish up. Oh, sorry. It's like Seth Rogen in Pineapple Express.
Anyway, after a few moments of awkward silence, Maria apologizes to their guests. Carlos goes to talk with Jesus and hears him recording a suicide note confessing what he's done. Maria's nerves are shot and she pours herself a big glass of wine. Carlos wants to see the baby and he's in disbelief. Jesus tells Carlos he's going to jump off the balcony, and Carlos tells him to give him some time to think. Maria comes to check on them, but Carlos gets rid of her. Carlos tells Jesus to come back to the table and follow his lead. As if things aren't bad enough, the delusional neighbor girl Ruth rings the doorbell and tells Maria that she and Jesus need to tell her something. She tells Maria that Jesus kissed her. As Jesus and Carlos come out of the bedroom, Maria is with the girl, and Maria suspects that what's been up with Jesus' mood today is Ruth. Meanwhile, Ruth's dog starts barking and biting at the baby's head under the chair, and the cat's out of the bag now. Carlos picks up the head and tells Maria to leave. Maria demands to see it, and everyone is beside themselves. Look, if I'm Jesus, I've already caught one body today. Ruth's ass would be flying off the balcony immediately. Speaking of, Maria takes flight, followed by Jesus. Damn, they ain't going to be in Rush Hour 3. The police discuss the scene and say Carlos is in shock. He just keeps repeating one sentence, the coffee table, which is actually a sentence fragment as there's no verb. Anyway, the end.
I'm sorry, that wasn't the mute button. I was laughing. I didn't want to just ha 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 as we walked on this on the thing there. Look, oh Jesus Christ! I would be way more hammered than these guys. Like I would be chugging that wine like I did over the weekend. That shit would be. I'd be all over the place. I actually do like the way they're building the suspense here, though. You know, you mentioned the dark humor. There's a little. To me, the last I'd say 8-9 minutes or so tonally shifts to being very serious, or at least it does to me. I love the way they're building the suspense with this like really loud guitar riff. It makes me feel unnerved. the brother's a dumbass, though. This man thinks, hold on, let me think this through. Like, motherfucker, there ain't nothing you can do. No matter what idea you come up with, it's going to be fucking horrible. I'm not giving him any credit. This is just dumb. And I even put it in my notes. At some point, this teenage girl's got to show back up. So we've been waiting. I mean, there's no way they let that like dangle in the wind, and I wasn't wrong. I would not go back out to that table. That seemed like a very bad idea. And boom, here's the girl. And I'm just going to say it. This is terrible. And we're probably going to get canceled for it. Brian, you can cut it if you'd like. That little bitch needs to take a hint and go the fuck home, dog. This ain't for you. This is grown-up time. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my apartment. But no, had to butt her ass on in there. And you know what? She's going to need therapy after this now because she couldn't butt out of other people's lives. She had to see horrible things. I will say, was not expecting the dog to find this head. What a fuck. I'm sorry, hilarious. But also really creative idea that I was not expecting. So really like that idea. And I just let out a holy shit. As back and forth as I've been on Maria, poor thing. You just feel fucking terrible for her. Because the minute she starts walking towards that balcony, I knew. I was like, well, goodbye, Maria. Man, this little girl, she's 13. Well, whatever. Looks horrified. Just absolutely mortified. But, set your own trap. Congratulations, you played yourself. And was not expecting them to both kill themselves. I mean, that really caught me off guard. But I looked down at the time. I said, well, there's only about a minute or so left. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do here. And that's what they decided to do. So a little bit of advice, guys. Don't go out of your way to purchase any ugly-ass coffee tables ever. And I will never do that either.
Yeah, awkward silence as Jesus leaves, and we learn that he's had this kind of paranoia before in life. Nah, fam, nothing like this before, I can assure you. My dog is crying on the toilet, leaving a voice note. This is sad. Like, I'm hurting for this guy. Carlos overhears this voice note and now sees his nephew's decapitated corpse in the crib. Holy shit, who thinks of this and decides, hey, let's go write a movie? I think Jesus might have the most valid crash out I've ever seen. There's no way I could live with this, even knowing if it was an accident. Fun fact, when it said Maria will be back in 10 minutes, there's 10 minutes left in the film. I like that. Giving Carlos props here, I think he's being a very good brother at this point. Now Ruth's annoying lying ass is here, starting more calamity. Ruth is in the building and the bros are back. Shit's about to hit the fan, and I can't wait. Hell of a way to, like you said, Mike, hell of a way to reveal the baby's head. Have Ruth's dog find it for everyone to see. This might be the most chaotic ending I've ever seen in my life. Carlos sweating and crying. Christina vomiting. Maria sees her dead son's head. Ruth is in pure shock. Jesus with 1 million pounds of guilt on his shoulders. Goodness. Amongst the chaos is a very good bit of music showing the trauma going on. Maria, with her son's head in her arms, leaps over the balcony, and I really can't blame her. Carlos, I can't even blame him being in shock and repeating the phrase, the coffee table. He expected a nice lunch with his brother, tell him they're expecting, and he just had the worst day of his life. Not quite as bad as Jesus, but, it was pretty damn bad. And I just wanted to end my notes on a fun fact from IMDb. I don't know if you had this one or not, Dustin. Mm-hmm. But in a 2024 interview with Rich Pieces, Kai Kayesis, I think is how you say his name, spoke about the overall intended effect of the film on an audience. I would like them to never forget the experience, for better or worse. And as mentioned, I would also want them to see how fragile we all are. To see that at any moment, our life can be like irreparable glass. I would also like to think audiences will talk about the film, as I don't think they will have seen many films like The Coffee Table. Yes, it's cruel and a hard viewing experience, but I hope one that you can also laugh at, which we did. I'm confident in saying that it is unforgettable, and I hope the North American public will be shocked. This is a production shot in just 10 days at a friend's house with very little money, but it will hit home, achieving an enormous emotional response in everyone who sees it. Don't you think? Yes. 100%. So you accomplished
everything he
that.
said.
Yeah. Like you said it perfectly, friend. All right, let's jump over to social media comments and questions. Mike, do you have Facebook by any chance? All right, I'll read Instagram real quick. We only got one comment. Ass_clap. Hilarious name as always. He said, good family watch, especially for expecting parents.
Yeah. I've got X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, pulled up. We had one from Steve, that guy, Millhouse14108. He
Oh,
said
boy.
this film is the emotional equivalent of being kicked in the gut by prime Chuck Norris, R.I.P. legend. I blame Maria for everything. If she would have included his opinions more, this don't happen. He stood on business for one decision and it destroyed everything. 4 out of 10 and F you Nico with a laughing emoji, a skull
What was they fuck
emoji,
me for?
and a baby emoji. You picked this. But I will say he was spitting when he said,
did.
I blame Maria for everything.
Dear Maria, count me in. That's what she should have done. Counted Jesus in. There was nothing on Facebook, by the way, Nico. Nothing on Facebook.
Okay. Dustin, you got anything on, or do you got any fun facts you want to share?
I just got one. One of the writers for this movie, Christina Barovia, she was the art director for a movie called Asylum, Twisted Horror and Fantasy Tales, which Sam Jaeger was in. Sam Jaeger has been in a lot of stuff, but I chose to go with the fact that he was in Henry Poole is Here with George Lopez, who was in The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl with David Arquette. I had to work for this one, you a-hole.
Good.
Buddy.
Good. I'm still surprised you pulled off the ugly stepsister. That was impressive.
Yeah, that was Steph Curry from 3.
All right, let's jump into our favorite kill, least favorite kill in the rating. Dustin, you want to go first?
Yeah, favorite kill.
Just really quick.
Oh, budget. Sorry.
Couldn't find a budget, but it made and it's very very limited theatrical release, just under $25,000. So I couldn't find an actual budget number, but I did find that it was made in 10 days and it didn't gross very much. But it had a very short theatrical run.
Yeah. All right, favorite kill for me, I'm gonna go with none. What the fuck? Like, no. But least favorite kill, all of them. This movie's crazy. But I will say this: Jesus should have thought thought things through a little bit more. You see, Maria, she jumped off the balcony first, had the baby's head in her arms. Brother, pin the whole thing on her and live the rest of your days. What are you doing? But anyway, as for my final thoughts on the rating,
God almighty.
it's heavy subject matter that has cruel, ironic humor built in. Certain scenes do drag on a little bit too long for me, and the random playground flashback scenes serve no purpose. Like it really bothers me that David did that. But overall, it's an effective movie. It's insane. I give it a 7.75.
Yeah, I agree with you about that playground scene. I didn't really understand why it was there.
Yeah, man, just so y'all know, I did not have a favorite kill. My least favorite kill is the baby. Obviously, don't want to see a baby die, especially that way. Fucking head rolling around the ground. Pretty terrible. Look, man, this unfortunately is a funny movie in some spots. It's dark. It's bleak, like Dustin said at the beginning of the show. There's no hope in sight for these characters, and there really is no let up as far as their future. Like once the glass table thing happens, it's done for everybody. So, yeah, I mean, damn you, Nico, for picking it because it is horrifying in that way. But I don't think it's not a bad film. It's well made. It's just really hard. I don't ever see myself rewatching it unless I'm like, hey, I have to show you guys this fucking movie. That's the only other time I can think of
exactly,
if I was with someone. Right. Maybe I've had a little bit of special lettuce or something. I was like, you guys got to check this movie out. And as long as the other people are also on special lettuce, then maybe the movie will be a little bit different. But, yeah, all in all, still going to get us.
Is that romaine? Is that romaine or iceberg?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh.
Romaine.
Okay.
Of course. Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I would never talk about illicit activities on this show. But all in all, high rating for me regardless. I gave this movie a 7.
I got glaucoma in that, I see.
That's right.
I'm right there with y'all. Favorite kill, none of them. Least favorite kill, my will to want to get married or have a kid. I don't need them problems. No, just kidding. No, I mean, I don't like any of the kills, and all of like the baby dying is definitely the least favorite kill. I'm right there with y'all. This movie is not a pleasant watch whatsoever, but it is something that you won't forget and you'll stick with you. And I appreciate the filmmaking. I agree with 100% with what the director said. I think he accomplished what he wanted to do, and this is the kind of low budget indie filmmaking that I really like. Like you can make a really good movie for cheap. Like it doesn't have to be. You don't have to have a 9-figure budget to make a good movie. Like this guy did it for very cheap, and I appreciate it. But it's just not something I want to pop on too often. Pretty much never. But kind of like you just mentioned, Mike. If somebody asks, I want to see a disturbing movie, or I want to see something a little fucked up, I'll tell them this one, or I'll watch it with them. But I gave it an 8. It accomplished what it wanted to do.
That gives us a composite score of a 7.583. IMDb's at a 6.7 out of 10. Letterboxd is 3.2 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes 89%, very high marks.
Heck yeah.
As far as if I would rewatch this movie, if I was ever involved with a girl that I didn't feel to be too serious and she ever started dropping them, let's have a baby talk. I'm like, okay. And then I'm going to show her this movie.
You got involved with that?
I get involved with that. Crisis averted.
Yeah. But then she'd probably pull like the stage 5 clinger. Baby, I'll let you pick the name.
And I'll be like, all right, cool. You want to go buy a new coffee table? You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
All right, I want to shout out our blood donors, and Dustin, you can announce your pick next week. Camper level reoccurring, Nina, Michelle Mirza, Steve Schmidt, Matt from the UK, Anthony Andrews, and Lisa. Camp council reoccurring, Edwin Hernandez-Gunn, Joe Swinford, Adrian Aiello, Brian Samick, Andrew Ferguson, Brooke Maley, Heather Superdoc, Jennifer Davis from Too Close to Home Pod, Dana Tucker, Cole McAlexander, Max K, Amanda Pettiford, and Death Curse Casey. I mean it every time I say it. We really appreciate y'all. It takes a huge financial burden off us to pay these bills, and it means a lot. I mean that. Dustin, announce your pick for next week.
Yeah, so I went with 2024's, that's what it says on IMDb, but I think I saw this movie in 2025. Yeah, it released June 6, 2025. Last year, obviously, I went to see every movie that I physically was able to go see in the theater. One of them caught my eye. Is listed as a dark comedy/horror with Nick Kroll and Amanda Seyfried. I was like, okay, I'm in. It's called I Don't Understand You. It's a movie that I'm going to go ahead and tell you is going to be hard to take notes on. But I told you, Nico, it kind of fits the theme of the movie we just reviewed, The Coffee Table, because it's one of those like accidental horror movies, like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, or like this one where something just happens and it spirals out of control. It's really funny. I don't think nearly enough people saw it. I actually don't know of anyone else who saw it. So I know people did, but I'm excited to review it and have you guys check it out.
Heck yeah.
2024, 2025 has got to be decent.
Yeah, right. I liked it.
Not some bull job from like Alfred Hitchcock or anything.
Just wait for a couple weeks, pal. George A. Romero is coming at you.
I don't like the way you said that, but we'll move on. Final thoughts, guys, on The Coffee Table. I'm glad y'all somewhat enjoyed it, even though I know it's a very bleak-ass movie.
Bleak is the word.
Yeah, I did want to give a shout-out to fan of the show, Ramon Rodriguez. Got to meet Ramon at a wedding this week and just happened to be at the same wedding, and he's a fan of the show.
That's awesome.
Also host, yeah, I know. Also host his own show, the Mostly Horror Movies, Mostly podcast, and so you can check that out wherever you get your podcast. Shout out to Ramon, man. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, shout out Ramon. Like he's interacted with the pod a lot over the years, so shout out Ramon. That's awesome.
Absolutely. We
appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back next week. Love you, Jesse Buckley.
Oh, you dick. Good night, Jesus. You didn't deserve this.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody.